Two, one.
Sorry, guys.
Hey there, welcome back to the E3
Wait
Questions
till I
Podcast.
get
I'm
my.
your host, Kevin, and today I'm here with AJ and Danny. And today we will be talking about who we are as a person, what makes us so unique and unrepeatable, and what exactly are near death experiences. All right, I'll go first. So, who am I? I'm an older brother, I'm a responsible son, and I'm a loyal friend. And what that means to me, really, is that as an older brother, and I have a younger sister, obviously, and I've had to kind of take care of her and help out my parents with taking care of her a lot. Especially as I've gotten older, and especially once I got a car, I was responsible for taking her to school a lot of the time and stuff. And so that just kind of made me really respect like how hardworking people can be, and it really pushes me to be more inclusive of others and help people out whenever possible. And I feel like that really motivates me to be like a loyal friend to others because it's always nice to have help, especially from people that care about you. And so it always just pushes me to be better. And what makes me unique? I really feel that I want to learn all the time. I always want to better myself, and I always try to keep myself humble, because I always know that people, no matter like where they are right now in their journey, like they'll only get better, and so I always just think I want to uplift others because it's what I want others to do for me.
All right, what's up, guys? Name's AJ, like Kevin said. So who am I? Three things I said is an only child, a baseball player, and a cousin. So unlike Kevin, I do not have a sibling, and that makes me a lot different than most people. Um, I think it shaped me a little differently than other people because I don't have like that built-in best friend, some could say. I've had to rely on myself to make friends and to find like spots in life that are awkward, more reasonable. Baseball player, grew up playing baseball. My dad introduced me to the game, and now I don't think I could imagine life without it. And then cousin, take my family very seriously, especially my little cousins. They kind of look up to me as like not only as an older cousin, but like as a role model for them. So I've taken that a little more seriously over the past couple years, and it's kind of led me to grow closer with them. Things that I've said make me unique and unrepeatable. I said I'm a silence worker. So like Jesus, he worked and he didn't like tell people about it. He didn't show about it. Just came about, and that's how I see myself. It's like at school or in the gym, just working on myself.
Hey, my name's Danny, and if you don't know me, I'm a twin. I'm also a brother, so Charlie, he's actually at Sumerian, and unlike these guys, I feel like I have like a built-in best friend, which can like at times be kind of a blessing because like I always have someone there for me. But other times it's hard to kind of like be your own person in a sense, which can be like a little frustrating. Um, Other than that, I'm a lacrosse player. Like AJ, I started this sport like very young. I was introduced to it by my dad, and I've like really grown as a lacrosse player over the years, and it's provided like a sense of structure that like I couldn't really live without. And then I also said I'm a friend. Friends are something I like really value, and it's like also a sense of structure that I like base my week around. Like I would try to figure out who I'm gonna hang out with and what my plans are for like the week or the weekend. Um, what are you? I'm a creative friend, and tying this back to Jesus, I feel like he is someone you can always rely on, which is kind of like the definition of a friend. So like when I think of when I think of being like a friend, like you just need to be there for like people who need you. Like for example, like um my brother, like if I'm having a tough time in life, he's always there for me. And the creative aspect of this is like I like using my hands and like my mind to solve problems. And yeah, that kind of like has been an interest in my life.
Yeah, that's great, guys. Especially you guys tying it back to your faith. It's always super powerful. Really appreciate that deep insight from both of you. But now we got the main attraction of today. What we really studied up on, we learned a lot about the last couple weeks. What are near-death experiences?
Yeah, I can't lie. I'm really excited for this part of the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got fired up. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I read the article posted by Mr. Webb from Mr. Parnica, and he made a really interesting point to me when I read it. First, he only said that 2% of the people he interviewed, so like 2% of like I think like 2,000-ish people that he interviewed, exhibited like that full like awareness sense, like they really knew, what was going on around them. They really knew that they're dead and they're, out of their body right now. And then, but I mean, I wasn't really too persuaded by that statistic. So much as the next one I have listed where only 39% of people that like died and were resuscitated said they had an experience, period. And of that 39%, like about half of them could give like vague descriptions of like what like the vibe that they experienced, when they were dying. And he also mentions like there's a huge question about like if this happens, like your whole experience that you have, like seeing the light and stuff, if that really happens after you die, or if it just happens before you die and you die after that, you know? And it's made me think about it like something very similar to that in a sense, is like when someone gets knocked out, as like weird as it sounds or whatever, you're out for a little bit, like your brain, you lose oxygen, so your like whole body shuts off for a little bit. And people sometimes can hallucinate while they're knocked out, they'll see things, they'll think they're still going, like they're still doing stuff. Um, and also like when you're in a coma, sometimes I've heard stories of people that, hallucinate an entire like life while they're in a coma or whatever. And so maybe it's kind of this like these like anecdotal facts kind of maybe support this idea that these experiences that people have like aren't related to them dying at all. And it happens when your brain is super close to death and it freaks out and then they die anyways after. But they feel moved to talk about it because, when they are brought back to life, they have this huge realization like that, wow, maybe I just died. So that was really interesting to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's a good
like I
point,
like your
Kevin.
ideas there, Kev.
Thanks,
Like that a
guys.
lot. So similarly, I also found this project that Mr. Webb gave us. This is the chart that I got, and it basically just explains like the different things that people see when they're in an NDE and how frequent it happens. So my like ideas that I pulled out from this observation was that these aren't illusions. Like there's too much happening and they're like too realistic. Like when they're explaining it, like it's not something made up. Like you actually have to experience this to think of it like when it's an out of body experience. So like awareness of being dead, like you don't see that unless there's something else happening. That's how I view it. Like observation of colors and life review, like the different things that you see. I don't think it's an illusion. I don't think that's what you're thinking of when you're dying. Personally, I wouldn't know, but like that's not the first thing I would think to do while I'm dying. You know, life review or colors I see. And then the other thing I connected it to was the experience. Like each experience has a different outcome, which I connected to God creating us in His own image and likeness. Obviously, this is a different type of spiritual and soul experience, but nevertheless, God is the root of like why we're here. That's what I believe, at least. So like things are happening for a reason based off of what God like has in view for us. So that's how I see um these out of body experiences and these any NDEs coming to light is all through God.
Okay. Um, yeah, to close it out here, I also focus a little bit on Dr. Parnia's study. And he did like a study on thousands of cardiac arrest patients. And he was able to document a like significant amount of like these experiences. And this like included a lot of cases of the out of body like awareness and experiences that AJ was talking about, like knowing you're dead, and like being able to like go outside of your body and view yourself from like the third person perspective. And the study alone tracked over like 2,000 people, which kind of like brought a lot of weight to this like to the subject. And I think it provides like a lot of evidence for like NDEs being a like legitimate like thing. And then I also liked um Lamel's like perspective. She was talking a lot about like tunnels, light, and like feelings of peace. And after like these people were um like resuscitated and like revived from the NDE, they had a lot of like memories that like translated into long-term changes in their like personality and overall life. So I feel like that would be more of like more evidence that these are like real experiences and not just like lies that people are telling. There's like a lot of truth to them. And then lastly, I liked Kenneth Ring's work on the blind people. And this is very convincing because like many of these patients were blind from birth, and they reported seeing like being able to see and like having visual like elements in their near death experiences, which obviously couldn't happen if like they weren't being contacted by like a higher power like God.
All right, AJ, if you want to bring us back up to the main page, like the starting page, we'll just kind of have some closing remarks. Um, looking at both of you guys, you guys make great points. I focused a lot more on like the like analytical side of it, but you guys went a lot more in depth on personal experiences. And that stuff is definitely hard to like argue with, like obviously Danny bringing up the blind people, you know. Um and then, AJ, you too, bringing up, you both make good points, especially relating it back to God and how he probably has a plan for us and he wants to show us things, you guys both made amazing points, it was great.
Thank you, Kev. So it seems like from my perspective that AJ kind of believes in these near-death experiences. I kind of believe in them. Kev, do you believe in them?
Yo, good question, Danny.
um
Good
yeah,
question.
that is great, really putting me on the spot. So I definitely would say I believe that they happen, I just don't know if it has anything to do with like the person dying though. Like I don't think I would think, kind of like what I said earlier, like I don't know about like once you die, people are seeing these things 'cause we don't know when they have these experiences, because they're dead for a little bit, So this could like they could totally have these experiences, you know. Remember like seeing our family members or seeing a light. I just would totally find it more plausible to me at least that that all happened while they were alive still, like their brain was still functioning, and it's just like kind of firing all weird because it's freaking out. But then it's hard to argue with the whole you know, like seeing yourself, like leaving your body, like the whole out of body experience. It's hard to argue with that for me. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it's tough, and I need to investigate this more so I can find an answer to like that, like out of body experience question. But for me personally, I would think that like these experiences definitely happen. I don't think it has anything to do with death though. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yo,
Okay.
maybe that can be our
Yeah,
future
I understand that.
podcast. We can figure out what
Oh,
the answer really is.
we could come back to that next week. I
Yeah.
like that.
Hey,
I
we
like
have
that.
infinite questions, right?
I like that. We do got infinite questions. We do got a lot of questions.
Yup.
All right. Hey, it was a pleasure, you guys. Mr. Webb, thank you for tuning in with us. And we look forward to seeing you back here next week on the Infinite Questions podcast.
Thanks, Kev.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.